it's Wes.
And Shonda.
And welcome to DinkLife.
So we are continuing our Japan travel series, and today we are talking about our day in Kyoto. As we tape this on the end of our last video, we are simply drinking the same thing we drank the last time. So nothing new here. So we were in Osaka, as you know, visiting Universal Studios Japan, USJ as they call it over there. And the great thing about Osaka is it's very centrally located. And you can get to a few places from there that are very touristy, I would say.
Yeah, and Kyoto's probably the closest.
Yeah, so this was our day that we spent in Kyoto. On the bullet train, it's only about 25 minutes, and man, does that go fast.
Yeah, it's a quick ride.
We, again, picked up the coveted egg sandwiches at the train station and some chips to eat on the way there, as we hadn't had breakfast. And honestly, by the time we got on the train, sat down, and ate our food...
We were there.
Yeah,
Yep.
We were there. It was that quick. We were told to leave early because we were visiting a shrine that we wanted to see. We hadn't yet been to a temple or a shrine, so we definitely wanted to make it a point to do that. And everything we'd read said this was the one to go to.
Yeah.
It's called Fushimi Inari Shrine.
Yeah, and our goal was to get there by 8, which actually you probably could get there by 7 or 6 and be even better.
Yeah, we got there
it was
very early based on recommendation, and it was already starting to get busy.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, if you want some pictures with nobody in them, or you just generally want to avoid crowds, get there very early.
You can get some amazing pictures at this place. So yeah, if you want those kind of pictures, you want to get there probably 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yeah. Now the cool thing about this shrine, you walk up a hill, and you walk in between a bunch of like reddish orange gates. And each gate was purchased by a company or a person, and their name is on the side of it. It's written in Japanese, of course, so we couldn't understand it, but we did know before we got there that that's... And I mean, there are probably thousands of them. Thousands of the gates that you walk through. So it's really cool to look at. And then there are quite a few stops along the way where you can stop and buy souvenirs. You know, the little cats with the waving paws, or... little trinkets that mean good health or good luck,
and stuff.
You know, wealth, things of that nature. It is over a 40-minute walk just to get to the top of the shrine. So I imagine if you take the entire thing, you're probably spending, and stopping to look at souvenirs and stuff, you're spending at least a good 3 hours there.
Yep.
Now, we only went about halfway up because we only had one day in Kyoto, and
we had a lot of stuff to pack in.
Yeah, we had things to get in, but I definitely think we got the gist of it.
Yeah, I think if the higher you get, the better view of actually the city, because you get kind of a pretty good overview. We got a couple spots where you could peek out, and you could see the city, and there you get some amazing views up there.
And the cool thing is, even though we were there in very early March, it had been so warm that the cherry blossoms were already coming out. So it's cool. We did get to see some of that, which is great, because we were sure we were going to miss that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think that's normal.
No, thanks global warming.
Yeah. Thanks global warming.
Yeah. It was about 2 weeks too early, the cherry blossoms were blooming.
Allegedly, but because of how warm the weather was, they were in bloom early, and we did get to see some of them, so that was nice. This shrine is actually in the middle of a city. So, like, as you're walking down the hill to get back to the bottom, like, we were walking through a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Which was really kind of cool. But it was still very quiet. People were still extremely respectful. But it was just kind of cool to see that people, like, actually live right there in the shrine.
Yep.
So, highly recommend if you aren't checking out a lot of shrines, if you only have time to do one or two, this is the one.
Yep.
I think. So we spent probably a couple of hours there, I would say.
Yeah, it was about 2 hours.
Yeah. And then we had an appointment at a MiPig Cafe. So we had to leave the shrine and sort of make our way to downtown, into the newer part of Kyoto. So another thing just to be aware of, there are sort of two parts of Kyoto. There's like an old version of it with all the old Japanese houses with the roofs that you're always used to seeing. And then there's a new, more modern part of Kyoto. So we needed to go to the more modern part.
Yep.
Also, there's a market there.
Yeah, that was the
wanted to
first
check
thing
out.
we went into was the market there.
Right.
So the market was called the Nishiki Market.
And I would say it's about 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile long.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
And it's just a straight shot.
Lots of stuff. Crazy food,
crazy food, sake, flowers,
desserts.
like fake food,
Yeah.
housewares. There's just like a little bit of everything. And man, it was jam-packed.
Yeah. We didn't really try anything because we wanted to
true.
sit down. You tried a thing, but yeah, for the most part, like even if you wanted to try any weird stuff there, like urchins or any stuff like that, I didn't see any trash cans to throw anything away. But if you bit into something that you like, I don't want to eat this. So I don't know what you do with anything if you ate something you didn't want there. So that's another reason I didn't really try anything.
I, however, am obsessed with mochi. So, and I didn't know this ahead of time, but there is a name for it when it has like fruit or something in it. Daifuku. I remembered it. So proud of myself. The mochi is just the ball. I'm sure many of you know this. I didn't, so I'm explaining it. It's just like the rice dough sort of ball that's on the outside, and then when they put something in it, it's called daifuku. So I learned something new. Anyway, I don't care what's in it. I'll eat it. I love mochi. So I bought one and bit into it, and there was an entire tangerine in there, and man, it was delicious.
Yeah, and I didn't like it.
Wes doesn't really care for mochi that much. I'll eat it all myself. But it was super juicy. It got all over me, and again, like Wes said, there was like nowhere to throw napkins or like rinse my hands off or anything, so I walked around with sticky hands for a little bit after that, but it was totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah. But walking through all that food did get us very hungry.
Yeah,
so then that's when...
Plus it was about 1:00.
Yeah, well, and with this, so we ended up looking to see if we could find anything close by, and the Happy Pancake was really close by.
Which, if you don't know what Happy Pancake is, it's a chain there. It's not a big chain. It's not like McDonald's or anything. I mean, but they do have them in every major city, and we had heard really good things about it. So we decided to stop there, and also thinking it was like, later we were like, oh, it won't be so busy. Man, were we wrong.
Yeah, we didn't wait too long. We had to put our name in, but I think we waited a good half hour to get in.
Easily.
Yeah.
And then...
It's not a fast place.
No, once you get in there, they tell you it's going to be at least 30 minutes for your food because they make all the orders as you order them. Well, that half hour ended up turning into like an hour, and we actually ended up having to reschedule our time at the MiPig Cafe because we were going to miss it.
Yep.
Having said that, the pancakes were fantastic.
Amazing, yeah.
They're not like pancakes here. They're more like a souffle. They've got egg. They're very eggy, and they also, it's weird when you cut into them. They almost look like they're not cooked. They are, but they're not flat. They're very, very fluffy.
Yeah, a lot of air in them.
And I had some sort of like fruit compote on top of mine, and cream cheese, like whipped cream. It was.
I had tiramisu on mine. It was really good.
Delicious.
When you get a coffee there, just so you know, like Americans, when you go to a breakfast place, usually you get free refills. This place, you do not get free refills on your coffee. You just get that one coffee.
Right. I had like a sort of banana smoothie type thing. It was delicious.
Yeah, it was a really good place. Yeah, I mean, it took a long time to eat there.
Yeah, I think that whole experience took at least an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's real small inside, maybe only 8 tables or something.
Yeah, so just be prepared, like, even if you get there at a time where it seems not busy, I think we were only like 4 or 5 people down the waiting list.
Yep.
It still took us quite a long time. But
it is a chain there, just so you know. You can find it at other places other than Kyoto.
So after we ate, then we finally made our way down to the MiPig Cafe, which is called the MiPig Cafe. So obviously MiPig. And honestly, it was very inexpensive, I thought.
Yeah, it was like $35. We were there for
over an hour.
Yeah, for a full hour. Yeah.
We originally had only scheduled a half an hour because, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. And you think to yourself, like, how long can I sit around and pet pigs, When you go in, they make you take your shoes off, just like with anywhere else. And we locked everything, our purses, our wallets, all that stuff in there. Because what we did notice when we got up there is that pigs will chew on anything.
Yeah.
But man, those pigs were precious.
Yeah, really cute.
We've got some video. I don't know what's going on, but I was like the pig whisperer.
Yeah, and I had one that just wanted to sit on the tip of my toe for the whole hour.
It was great. I had these two tiny little pigs, which the attendant told us were brothers. They're from the same litter. They were two little brown pigs, and one sat on my lap facing this way, and then the other little brown pig crawled up on top of that pig and sat up here facing this way, and they must have stayed there for 45 minutes, which is why we didn't get up and leave. So they tell you like when you have about 5 minutes left, and then she asked us, did we want to pay for more time? Well, of course. Like, seriously, take all of my money. I will sit there all day. I could have stayed there forever. This place also had free drinks.
Yeah, free drinks with it.
Just like the dog cafe did, but we couldn't even get up. I mean, like, I didn't want to get up. There were just pigs crawling all over me and sitting on me, and they're tiny, and they're so cute.
Yeah. It was a fun experience. This was... When we did check out at the end, though, this was one of the, like, we only ran into, like, 2 or 3 people that could actually speak fluent English there. And the checkout guy there freaking spoke, like, perfect English. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was, like, shocking when you ran into somebody.
Yeah. I think probably as shocking as they would be if one of us came over and spoke fluent Japanese. But it's kind of nice when you run into someone like that, because you can actually have a full-fledged conversation.
Yeah, conversation with them.
Yeah. So we left the Pig Cafe, and then we decided we wanted to track down old Kyoto.
Yes.
Because there was a Matcha Cafe that I had heard about. They had some really cool looking desserts. I saw it on another vlog. So we had to get to old Kyoto. That was an adventure. For sure. We did have kind of a bit of a rough time finding that.
Yeah, we were a little bit lost. I think we took a bus to get there, and then we were pretty much good after that.
Well, we did walk around for quite a bit.
Yeah, we walked in. Yeah, we were a little actually lost in finding where it was, but then we did find it and were able to get there.
Yeah. So once you get there, it's cool. All of the buildings look like those old shrines.
Yeah, it has a much older look to it. Bunch of little stores over in that area.
Yeah, and we found a Studio Ghibli store, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, really cool.
And there was just a bunch of other stores, and it just really had the feel that you want when you're wandering around Japan.
And tons of people in kimono.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, we hadn't really seen anybody in
lots
kimonos,
of women dressed up like it.
But they had like a kimono rental store there.
Yeah.
And then there were a lot of women and even men that were dressed in like traditional Japanese garb. So it was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, and while we were there, we were in the actual golden hour type of the day. So like everybody was out there with their kimonos on, trying to get that perfect shot with the lighting and everything.
Right. And one thing to note, though, about old Kyoto, which we didn't know when we went, everything closes early. I think everything closed at like 5 p.m. So if you want to spend a chunk of your day there looking in the stores and eating, go early.
Yeah.
It was fine for us because our train ticket back was for like 6 or 6:30, I think. So we didn't have a lot of time to spend there anyway.
Yeah.
But definitely if you want to check out the stores and the restaurants, get there early. I did find the Macha House. I had a parfait. It was delicious. Wes didn't like it.
Oh, I hated it.
He does not care for the
some of the worst
matcha.
ice cream I've ever had.
And I'll tell you why.
It's not sweet or anything.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't like sickeningly sweet desserts. I prefer mine not savory, but just not like so coilingly sweet that I can only eat like 3 or 4 bites. And this was perfect for that. But that's why Wes didn't like it.
It was not sweet, and it was so overly powered of matcha flavor.
Yeah. So if you don't like matcha, and if you are expecting a sweet dessert, then I don't recommend it. However, I loved it. So,
it was so packed with that, it almost like stained your hands and everything.
That is true.
It was a mess.
So you really, I would say, but I mean, it's in the name, right? So
don't
seek out a matcha cafe if you don't like matcha.
Hey, at least I tried it once.
That is
not
true.
My thing. I'll never have it again.
Much like the octopus balls. I loved it. So by this time, we had to get ourselves back to the train station so that we could catch the bullet train back to Osaka. And where we were, the only way to get back was by city bus.
Yeah.
Which their public transportation there is very good. However,
it was rush hour.
It was rush hour.
Yeah.
And The lines for the buses were
probably at least 20, 30
long.
people deep.
Oh, it was crazy.
And then when the buses even pulled up, they were packed with people and hardly anybody got off. So, like, the line was not going away.
Yeah, so we took a look at it and we we're like, we'll just walk. Well, holy hell, let me tell you. I'm guessing it was about a 2-mile walk.
It was about a 2-mile walk back.
Back to the station. Normally I wouldn't crab about that, but it was the end of the day.
Yeah.
We've been walking around all day. But there's no way, even if we had gotten on a bus, the traffic was so bad. It was so stop and go, and there were stoplights like every other block. We would have never made it.
Yeah, you could walk faster than the bus.
Yeah, we definitely walked faster than we would have gotten there had we taken the bus. So
yeah, and we did come close. I think we got there with only 15 or 20 minutes to spare. So if we would have taken the bus, we would have missed the bullet train.
That may not seem like much to you, but like we're early people, and I was raised like 10 minutes early is on time. So by the end of it, we were like speed walking.
Oh yeah.
But it was nice actually. The walk was nice because we got to walk through a lot of parts of the city that we would not have normally seen.
Yeah, and it was a really pretty time of day with like the sun setting and everything.
It was beautiful. But we did make it back to the train station in time. And when we got back to Osaka, we were spent.
Oh, yeah. I think total that day we walked close to 12 miles and 11 flights of stairs, too, while we did that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really... Kyoto is quite a... not hilly, but it's uneven terrain. So there are a lot of stairs. There are a lot of uphill things.
Yeah.
So just be prepared.
Walking upstairs to cross over big, long streets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the shrine had a ton of stairs.
Yep.
So just be prepared. If you're going to explore Kyoto, even in a day, you're going to walk a lot.
Yeah.
But that was fine. So we got back to the hotel probably around 6:37, and we kind of just hung out.
Yeah, we didn't do anything because we were just tired.
Yeah,
I think I got a couple beers in the Lawsons downstairs, and we got a few snacks, and we went straight back up to the room. We didn't eat anything there. We just went straight back to the room. Yeah,
that was a rough day. I mean, it was totally worth it.
Yeah, and we also had to pack up and get everything ready because the next morning Oh, no, sorry. We still stayed one more day.
We did, but we had to pack our suitcases.
Yeah, we had to pack all of our stuff up because we had to ship it out, do the luggage shipping the next morning before we left.
We will talk about again
tomorrow.
Just so you know, because the first time we did it from the hotel, and this time the hotel didn't do it, so we had to do it from the Lawsons. But Wes can talk about that because he took care of it this time around.
Yep.
So that was our day in Kyoto. Just to let you know, these are the things that we chose to do. But there's so much to do there.
So much stuff to do.
Yeah,
I mean, there's like bamboo forest, there's monkey things to do.
There's a philosopher's trail.
Yeah, if you really wanted to and you're super into video games, Nintendo's headquarters is there.
Yeah, I mean, we could have packed another full day.
I mean, yeah, you could spend 2-3 days probably in Kyoto alone itself.
I would say so.
Yeah.
If you want to slow it down.
Yeah, it was actually probably one of our favorite cities we went to.
100%.
Like, if we go back, that's one of the places we want to go for
and
sure.
probably will spend at least 2 days there this time around.
It's an awesome city.
It is. It's pretty amazing. It's beautiful, and it's got all the things. There's the new portion and the old portion.
Yeah, it has the history, all that stuff.
And the pigs.
Yeah, and just some of the most beautiful temples and shrines and stuff like that.
Definitely. So that was our wrap up of our day in Kyoto. And just remember, as always, whatever you decide to do, just get out there and do it.